What's up, Felty family? Just checking out the ponds today. Been a little while since my last update because I've just been letting stuff grow. Little white clouds doing pretty good in here. Sorry, it's a little bit glary. Yeah, got everything doing pretty good. Horsetail rush, of course, doing the best out of everything. That stuff just grows no matter what you do to it. I'd say you could probably just like literally throw something on the ground, and as long as it's in an area where it like gets a lot of water, it would probably just grow in the ground there. I actually don't think it needs, like, I left mine out for longer than the other ones because they were just like, yeah, it's hardy. And I was like, I had a little piece. I think this is the big piece. So that's like the main one that I had before, and then this one I took and split like a little tiny piece off of. And this is the one that I had sitting out, I'm pretty sure. And I mean, it was out in the dry air for like 2 whole days, like 48 hours almost. And still doing good. It's still, I put it in the pond and it immediately started growing back. And yeah, I've just been throwing more and more duckweed in here for now, guys, just to get rid of some of this algae. I just fed some fish flakes because I don't feed this pond as often as the other one, so I got to give it some food every once in a while, just keep it going just in case. I know there's like a little bit of stuff that falls in, but yeah, there are shrimp in here. Quite a few shrimp, actually. Most of them came out of my 20 gallon. You guys can't see those ones quite as good. Let's see if I can find some up here in the rocks or something like that. Looks like a snail over there in that. I can't tell for sure. But yeah, not really too many red cherries out on the top today. What is this, guys? I love it when this happens. I have, this might be one of my crypts. Crypts are like awesome. It might be coming from this plant too. Oh look, here's another one. I don't know what that is. If that's is that a tree growing in here? No, that's not. I don't think that came out of that seed. What are those maples that drop those little fan leaves? But yeah, this is pretty cool that I got like some little babies growing. It might be babies of this thing, but I am just assuming that it's probably like little baby crypts that I poured in here by accident. But it could be something else. I guess we'll see. Man, there's like a few of them that might be babies of this thing. They're all growing in this one. Kind of weird though. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. They do look, if you look at this little leaf and the fact that it's red, this guy's kind of got a red stem a little bit. It would maybe make sense that those are its offspring, but I'm not positive. But I had this happen. Look, here's another one. And they literally just took root down in the rocks. That's cool. It's possible they're like little tiny maple trees, because I think maples will literally grow in anything. There might just be enough oxygen in those clay pebbles that they're just keeping them alive. But I'm just going to let them grow, and we'll just see what they turn into. I pulled most of them out of the rocks, so they'll have to reroot themselves, but it should be fine. Some of them are there's still a couple back in there that are underneath the rocks. But yeah, I feel like it'd be kind of weird if those are just maples, because I had those little seeds floating all over, but they didn't sprout anywhere else except for in that one, as far as I can see. You guys, I don't see any more in any of these other ones. When I look around, I'm gonna do a little bit of physical algae removal, just taking out clumps like this and stuff. My snails and shrimp have been eating on it, but oh, I just dropped that back in. That's sad. Oh, I got it back out. Sweet. Yeah, I'll just do a little physical algae removal, and been trying to take out like the little pieces of leaves I'm not doing anything with, but like anything that's like that size you just saw, or like this, I've been taking those out and throwing them. This thing is taking off right here. You see it's growing like a whole new, this is like a new plant that it's growing off of itself. You see it's got new ones coming out down here too. But yeah, none of those little things that are growing in that other one in there. So I wonder if that other one is growing like babies of itself. That would be pretty cool. Yeah. So I'll just keep you guys posted on this one. It's going to take a little while for the algae to clear. I'm just going to keep throwing more duckweed in there. Eventually the plants, I have enough plants in here. They're just not growing all full blast yet. But once everything in here starts growing full blast and I get maybe like 2 or 3 more plants up here, put the Vallisneria in, I'll probably clean out a little bit of the duckweed to where there's not quite that much duckweed in there. And it should be doing a lot better. Once the plants will kind of shade. Like, see, this thing's got these big umbrella leaves. This will shade its own base, and you won't get all that algae down in there. Same with this, when it starts to really branch out, and you see these irises they're definitely bigger than they were before. This thing is liking the sun over here, because I don't think the other one's doing that. This one's making like its little, it's like its version of balloons. Oh, my cat. My cat is trying to play with me. He's all dirty. There's the other one, Carly. She had her kittens. I'll show off the kittens in about a minute or two, but let's take a look at this pond a little bit closer. This one just looks better, in my opinion. None of the plants are really quite taken off over here because it's not in the sun. But by the end of, May or June or something, all these they'll be going. They're just now, like, it's just now the time of year where they start really getting sun anyway. And this one's kind of in the shade, but even while it's in the shade right now, like, look how good this looks down in here, other than this one little piece of algae floating here. But yeah, like, most of the algae is just non-existent. But look how good that looks down in there. Just really pretty, nice and clear. If I pulled those bubbles out, it would look even better. Let me try that really quick. See if I can get the glare to go away, kinda. Yeah, I really like the way this one looks right now, though, with the good amount of clearness. Good amount of clarity in the water. Go around to each of the plants and see how they're doing. This guy is probably taking off better than anything in here because it just stretches across the surface. It's kind of like a floater, but it roots too. And it's got a bunch of little stuff in there, but no, it's not growing any babies like that other one is. There is a cherry shrimp. Let's see if I can get him. There he is, there he is. Yeah, he looks good. Oops, there we go. Just cleaning some algae off the rocks for me. That's why I understand, like, Vertigo 117, Cedric, he doesn't have shrimp, I don't think, in his ponds. I don't know if he has snails. I'd have to ask him that to know for sure, but I highly value shrimp in fish tanks and ponds because they do a lot of algae cleaning, and snails too. I don't love pond snails. I'm sure you guys have figured that out just from watching me talk about them. Just because they just reproduce really, really fast. But if you can find a good snail species, like these Japanese trapdoor snails that I have right now, they're really good because they do a good job eating algae. They eat a lot of algae. Maybe not quite as much as like a nerite that was the same size. Maybe a nerite would eat more. Like, it would just sit on the algae all day long, which nerites definitely do. But these Japanese trapdoor snails seem to be a little longer lived. Because all the nerites I've ever had, like, I'll get like an order of 10 nerites in, and then only, there's another cherry shrimp right there. Oh, 2 of them. Yeah, look how good that looks. Like, it looks like you're just looking through air. It doesn't even look like there's water in the way at all. That's good. That is a good sign. Yeah, but I like the Japanese trapdoor snails because they eat quite a bit of algae. They don't die, and they reproduce. So nerites will not reproduce in your tanks. That's why I don't think they're that great of a value, just because you'll buy like 10 of them and like 5 of them survive past a month. You know, maybe all 10 survive like the first week, but they just don't do that great unless you have constant algae growth. 'Cause it's like they'll eat other stuff, but they just really want to eat algae. And in my opinion, they just don't do that great. Everybody loves them, I know, but I don't know if it's my water or something. Something about here, I cannot keep nerites that effectively. I do have some, but they just don't do that great for me. When I get Japanese trapdoor snails, although they do a lot better. And they reproduce. Now, a lot of people are like, I don't want my snails to reproduce, but they reproduce really slow. You're never going to they're not going to overpopulate a tank. And I like that they reproduce because you don't have to go back and buy more snails. With nerites, you're always just going and spending, 20 or 30 more bucks on 10 more nerites to get your tanks algae free. So yeah, in my opinion, the Japanese trapdoor snails are really good. Some people have a lot of luck with pond snails. In my opinion, if you don't have bottom feeders, so like if you only have fish, like koi fish or whatever, white clouds, like anything that's just a, top swimming fish that wants to eat off the surface, and they won't really, like guppies and stuff are a little different because they will eat off the bottom, so you don't need bottom feeders as bad. But let's say you have a fish that's too big to house with shrimp, and you have no bottom feeders, you don't want to house them with catfish or whatever, just for whatever reason, you could do pond snails, and you wouldn't be overfeeding the fish so much because you don't have the bottom feeders. So my problem with pond snails is I have a bunch of tanks with like catfish and shrimp and snails that I want to keep alive for sure because I spent money on them and they look pretty and all that different stuff. You don't want stuff to die anyway, but like, it feels a lot worse when if you have a pond snail die, you're kind of like, okay, they're going to make more. It's not as big of a deal. Like if you have like $100 fish die or $100 shrimp die or, $100 tin pack of shrimp or whatever it may be, you're going to be pretty upset when those die off because you haven't been feeding enough. So that's where I find pond snails are really bad, because when you're feeding enough for your shrimp to eat, the pond snails are going to just go out of control. If you put in enough food that your shrimp and your snails are eating off the ground, then the pond snails are going to be eating off the ground, and it just makes them breed crazy style, in my opinion. You can kind of tune it in, and eventually you'll get like, a couple big snails and not very many babies, so it's not as annoying to look at. But like, in my opinion, it's just better to just do like Japanese trapdoor snails, or like if you, I think rabbit snails also just breed like, it's like Sulawesi, rabbit snails, I think, or something like that. I can't remember the exact name of them, but they're rabbit snails basically. And they get a little bit bigger, but they do eat quite a bit of algae, quite a bit of, fish poop and stuff. And they get a little bit bigger, but they only have like one baby per like breeding season or whatever. So it's like maybe like one baby every 6 months or like one baby every year. And it's like, you can handle that. That's not ever going to overpopulate you, because, probably you're going to have enough tanks that you can just, if you needed to, you could just take one and move it. You could put them outside because, like, at least Japanese trapdoor snails, I know you can put outside. They're made to go in ponds, but they also do good in the indoor tanks. I've had a few in my indoor tanks so far, and they're doing really good in there. Basically what I'm saying is I'm switching all to Japanese trapdoor snails, guys. I'm not going to keep any other kind of snails other than pond snails, just because it costs me too much money. I go buy mystery snails that I think look cool, and they die because they're from Petco or Pet Supplies Plus, and they're not healthy. I can buy these Japanese trapdoor snails for like the same price as I can get mystery snails from Pet Supplies Plus, but I get them from Aquahuna, and they all come alive and vibrant, like doing good. Maybe one of the snails I had last time, he wasn't even dead. He just didn't look as happy as the other ones, if you know what I'm saying. Like, he just wasn't as, robust, but he was still doing okay. So, yeah, that is the ponds. As you see, this guy's not quite growing yet, but it is growing. It's just growing really slow. It's just taking it some time to get off, but, yeah. That one over there is growing a little bit better. It's starting to make a few new leaves. This guy, I don't know It's supposed to get huge. This thing is supposed to get really big. And I just don't see it happening, guys. Like, I just think that they lied to me about it. It still feels good. I wanted to feel the rhizomes and make sure it feels nice and stout, you know, not like squishy. If the rhizome in your plant feels like you could just like crush it between your fingers because it's so squishy, it's probably not doing that great. And this thing's taken off too, but it just grows a lot more compacted than the other stuff in here. So yeah, the Vallisneria, I'm either going to take those out today or tomorrow and put them in different bins and kind of spread them out. Yeah, got the bins made up, ready to go, and I think I have enough rocks, I hope. If I don't, then I'll figure it out. Okay, so the kittens are out eating, so maybe I'll get a good view of them before they run away. I'm just going to walk up on them really slow. I've been petting them a little bit, but they're still a little scared. Psst. There's Carly, that's the mom. You see she has all the peaches and orange colors that they have. And this is how it manifested itself as kittens. I was hoping we get another one like her, like that brindle calico color that she has going on, but not quite. But these guys are really cool looking. As long as they're eating, they apparently don't care if I give them a little pet. They like the neck rubs. I don't know if it makes them think of mom, because the moms pick them up from the neck. But they seem to do a little bit better from patting their necks. And then there's the other two black ones here. They're going to run away and hide in the house. Yeah, guys, that's the extent of this video. I would do some updates on the aquariums inside, but I have some stuff going on in the house right now I have to get taken care of. I'm just basically just moving stuff around. Got rid of my big peacock cichlid fish. That way I could use his tank for some other stuff. And I've just been trying to get rid of him for a while because, like, I like the fish itself. Like, he looks really cool. And he's, like, you know, personality-wise, he's smart and everything. But, like, he's just too aggressive. He aggroes on any other fish I put in the tank. And I just can't have that. I need to have something more than just one fish in there. I'm not the type of person that, if I was going to have one fish in a tank and that's all, it would definitely be an Oscar, which would be like the same thing, but it's just like Oscars have way more personality than this guy does. So in my opinion, if y'all are going to do peacock cichlids, either get a really big tank and breed them, or just get one like I did and just be prepared to know that you're not going to have plants in there or anything like that. But yeah, this is what I'm working on. I guess I said I wasn't going to show you guys, but I was just like, whatever. Because I want to show this. It just looks so good still. And then got the duckweed growing out a little bit in here. I've just been scooping it out and putting it in the pond every once in a while. Lots of bristlenose babies. And some of them, I'm probably not going to be able to find one right now. But some of them are getting quite big. They're about at cell size right now, so I'm probably going to end up taking them to St. Louis when we go for my birthday, and we are going to, look at that rainbow fish all the way on the bottom, getting food off the bottom. He's right there behind that rock. The bristlenose is probably like, bruh, this is my territory. But yeah, guys, nice long video for you guys today because I haven't posted in a while, and I will do a full update on all the tanks there soon. As soon as I get this 40-gallon moved, I'm gonna take all of it down, and I'm just gonna stand it up straight here. I will end up probably doing something with it, but I gotta get some other stuff finished first, and I just don't have enough time to do projects all the time, so just the way it is, guys. I'm going to take my plant rack over there with all my nice plants on it. You can see it's doing pretty good. I got basil and succulents, mosses, A bunch of terrarium plants growing on there. I got all my isopods and springtails up top. I'm going to move it right here. I'm going to take that curtain down so that it will be getting a little bit of sunlight there. I'm just going to put it right in front of that window so it gets a nice amount of sunlight for the stuff that... Some of the stuff doesn't really like the super high intensity light. So, yeah. But yeah, then I'm going to move that over here. Move all my storage stuff over here too. I'm going to clean this floor first, so there's been a lot of stuff back there for a while. But yeah, just got a lot of stuff going on right now. I'm moving stuff around. I don't know if I've really showed you guys my blue shrimp or not, but these are going to be going in the paludarium. I was going to put cherry shrimp in there, but I decided that I wanted to get some new shrimp because I have not had any new shrimp in a while. I've just been working off the same stock for a very long time. So yeah, I wanted some blue shrimp. See a couple of the bristlenose that are a little bit larger, but still not any of the big ones out. There's a couple of them that are like that one back there. He's actually a decent size. He doesn't look quite as big as he should on camera, but yeah, a couple of these guys are decent size though. That's probably all, guys. Hopefully you guys had a good time watching me do this, and have fun, Felty Fish fan.